Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever stood in front of the mirror and whispered to yourself, there's got to be more. This isn't who I'm meant to be. I know that feeling. That gnawing ache in your soul, the silent yearning for a fresh start, a second chance, or maybe even a complete transformation. If you've ever felt lost, stuck, or broken, I'm here to tell you something profound. 2025 is your year. This is the year you stop surviving and start living. The year you stop carrying the baggage of yesterday and start building the life you've always dreamed of. Deciding who you want to be is the cornerstone of any transformation. It's a moment that requires honesty, courage, and imagination. This decision is not just a fleeting thought or a vague wish, it's the foundation upon which you rebuild your life. Too often, people live in a fog of uncertainty, drifting from day to day without a clear sense of purpose or direction. They react to life rather than creating it. But rebuilding yourself starts with making the conscious choice to design your future, to become intentional about the person you want to be. It requires you to pause, reflect, and dare to dream again. The first step in this process is self-reflection. You must take a long, hard look at where you are right now. Not just on the surface, but deep within. What do you love about yourself? What are you proud of? And just as importantly, what are the habits, attitudes, or beliefs that have held you back? Self-reflection is not about judgment or self-criticism. It's about awareness. You cannot rebuild what you don't first acknowledge. Sit down in silence, away from distractions, and ask yourself the tough questions. Write your answers down, because clarity doesn't come from thinking alone. It comes from putting thoughts into words. Seeing your reflections on paper can be a powerful wake-up call. Once you've assessed where you are, it's time to define where you want to go. This is where courage comes in. Many people are afraid to dream big because they fear failure or ridicule. They settle for less because it feels safer. But rebuilding yourself means breaking free from the limitations you've placed on yourself or the ones others have imposed on you. Imagine the best version of yourself. Who is that person? How do they live? What do they believe about themselves? What do they value most? Don't hold back. Dream boldly and unapologetically. This isn't the time to play small. Visualize it in vivid detail. See it, feel it, and let it inspire you. As you define who you want to be, it's important to go deeper than surface level goals. This isn't just about what you want to achieve, but who you want to become. Achievements are external, but identity is internal. If you focus only on external success like earning more money, losing weight, or getting a promotion, you risk building a house without a foundation. But if you focus on becoming the type of person who naturally attracts those outcomes, your transformation becomes sustainable. For example, instead of saying, I want to lose 20 pounds, decide, I want to become the kind of person who values their health and makes choices that reflect that the latter is about identity, not just results. Clarity is a powerful force. When you decide who you want to be, you create a compass for your life. You no longer wander aimlessly or waste energy on distractions that don't align with your vision. Every decision becomes simpler because you have a clear framework to guide you. You start to ask yourself, does this action bring me closer to the person I want to be? Or does it take me further away? This clarity creates focus, and focus creates momentum. But here's an important truth. Deciding who you want to be is not a one-time event. It's a daily commitment. Every morning you have to remind yourself of that vision. Life will throw distractions, challenges, and temptations your way. You'll face moments of doubt, fear, and exhaustion. But when your vision is clear, it becomes your anchor. It keeps you grounded in the storm. It reminds you why you started and why it's worth continuing. To make this decision stick, you must make it tangible. Write down your vision. Describe it in detail. Create a personal mission statement that captures the essence of who you want to become. Keep it somewhere you can see it every day, on your mirror, in your journal, or as a note on your phone. Let it be a constant reminder of the life you're building. Visual cues are powerful because they keep your goals at the forefront of your mind. The more you see it, the more it becomes ingrained in your thoughts, and the more likely you are to take action. It's also essential to break down your vision into actionable steps. A clear vision is inspiring, but without a plan, it can feel overwhelming. If you've decided to become a more disciplined, confident, or healthy person, ask yourself, what small actions can I take today to embody that identity? It could be something as simple as waking up 30 minutes earlier, journaling your thoughts, or saying no to something that doesn't serve your goals. These small actions, when repeated consistently, create habits. And habits, over time, shape your identity. Remember, clarity is not about perfection. You don't need to have every detail of your life figured out right now. You just need to know the next step. Rebuilding yourself is a process, and your vision will evolve as you grow. Be open to refining it along the way. What matters is that you start. Don't wait for the perfect moment or for all the stars to align. The decision to rebuild yourself begins in the present moment, not tomorrow, not next week, but now. The journey to becoming the person you want to be is not always easy, but it is always worth it. When you decide who you want to be, you give yourself permission to let go of the past, to shed the layers of doubt, fear, and regret that have weighed you down. You step into a new identity, one that is rooted in possibility and purpose. It's a liberating, empowering, and deeply rewarding experience. So take that first step, make the decision. Define who you want to be in 2025 and commit to it with all your heart. Because the truth is, no one else can decide it for you. This is your life, your story, your rebuild. And it all starts with one powerful, life-changing decision. Excuses are the quiet thieves of opportunity. They creep into our thoughts, disguised as logic, shielding us from the discomfort of growth and the risk of failure. They whisper to us that it's okay to stay where we are, that we're too tired, too busy, or simply not ready. But the truth is, excuses are the chains that keep us bound to the very life we wish to change. If you want to rebuild yourself in 2025, you must confront these excuses head on and set them ablaze. Only then can you break free and step into the life you were meant to live. The first step in eliminating excuses is recognizing them for what they are: self-imposed barriers. We often convince ourselves that these barriers are immovable, that they are facts of life, but they're not. They're stories we tell ourselves to avoid stepping out of our comfort zones. When you say, "I don't have time," is it really true? Or is it that you're prioritizing distractions over what truly matters? When you say, "I'm not good enough," is it a fact, or is it fear speaking, holding you back from even trying? Excuses may feel real, but they're illusions, and when you expose them to the light of truth, they begin to crumble. Eliminating excuses requires radical honesty. You have to stop sugarcoating your reality and take full ownership of your life. This is not about blaming yourself or feeling guilty, it's about empowerment. When you stop making excuses, you take back your power. You realize that you are not a victim of circumstances, you are the creator of your destiny. No one else is responsible for your progress, no one else can do the work for you. It's up to you to decide whether you will continue to let excuses control you or whether you will take control. One of the most common excuses people make is that they don't have enough time. But let me tell you something, time is not the issue. Everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. The difference lies in how you choose to use those hours. If you feel like you don't have time, take a closer look at how you're spending it. How much time do you spend scrolling through social media, watching TV, or engaging in activities that don't serve your goals? Time is not lacking, focus is. When you eliminate excuses, you begin to reclaim your time and direct it toward what truly matters. Another excuse that often holds people back is fear: fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. Fear is a natural response to stepping outside your comfort zone, but it's not a valid reason to stop moving forward. In fact, fear is often a sign that you're on the right path. It means you're pushing yourself, challenging yourself, and growing. Instead of using fear as an excuse, use it as fuel. Let it remind you that you're doing something important, something meaningful. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's taking action in spite of it. To burn your excuses, you must replace them with a mindset of responsibility. Responsibility is not about blaming yourself for everything that goes wrong. It's about recognizing your ability to respond. No matter what has happened in the past, you have the power to choose how you move forward. You have the power to decide how you will think, act, and grow. When you take responsibility, you stop waiting for the perfect conditions to begin. You stop blaming others for your struggles. You realize that progress is always within your control, even in the smallest of ways. A practical way to overcome excuses is to shift your language. Pay attention to the words you use when you talk about your goals and challenges. Replace "I can't" with "I will find a way." Replace "I don't have time" with "I will make time." Replace "I'm not ready" with "I'll start now and learn as I go." Your words have power. And when you change your language, you change your mindset. You start to see possibilities instead of obstacles. And that shift is transformative. It's also important to surround yourself with people who challenge your excuses. Too often we seek out those who will validate our limitations, who will agree with us when we say it's too hard or I'm too busy. But if you want to grow, you need people who will call you out, who will remind you of your potential, and who will hold you accountable to your goals. Find a mentor, a friend, or a community that inspires you to be better. Let their belief in you outweigh your excuses. Burning excuses is not a one-time event. It's a daily practice. Every day, excuses will try to creep back into your mind. They'll tell you it's okay to skip the workout, to procrastinate on your goals, to settle for less. But every day you have the choice to confront them and push past them. Rebuilding yourself is not about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about showing up even when it's hard and doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. Ultimately, eliminating excuses is about reclaiming your freedom. Excuses keep you trapped in a cycle of stagnation and regret. But when you let them go, you open the door to possibility. You start to see what you're truly capable of. And you realize that the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the story you've been telling yourself. Change the story and you change your life. So as you step into 2025, make a commitment to yourself. Refuse to let excuses hold you back any longer. Decide that no matter what challenges come your way, you will find a way to overcome them. Decide that your dreams are worth the effort, that your future is worth the fight. Burn the excuses and watch as the path forward becomes clear. The power to rebuild yourself has always been within you. All you have to do is claim it. Small steps have the power to create big results, but we often underestimate their importance. In the rush to see immediate change or dramatic progress, we forget that transformation is not a leap, it's a series of steady, intentional steps. Building habits that build you is about focusing on the seemingly small, repetitive actions that over time shape your identity and your future. These habits may not feel significant in the moment, but they are the invisible architects of the life you're creating. Habits are the foundation of who we are. They're not just actions we repeat, they're behaviors that define us. Every day, the choices you make, whether conscious or unconscious, contribute to the person you're becoming. The way you spend your mornings, the thoughts you allow to dominate your mind, the foods you eat, the books you read or don't read, all of these small decisions stack up. They accumulate and eventually they determine your reality. If you're serious about rebuilding yourself in 2025, the first thing to focus on is not the big, bold moves, but the small, consistent habits that will guide you to where you want to be. The power of habits lies in their consistency. One healthy meal won't transform your body, but consistently eating nutritious food will. One productive morning won't change your life, but string together weeks and months of discipline starts, and you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. Habits are not about perfection, they're about persistence. It's about showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it, even when progress seems slow or invisible. Habits compound over time, and that compounding is where the magic happens. It's not what you do once in a while that matters, it's what you do every single day. The key to building habits that truly serve you is starting small. Too often, we get caught up in the excitement of change and set goals that are too ambitious, too overwhelming. We say things like, I'm going to go to the gym 5 times a week, or I'll read a book every week, or I'll completely overhaul my diet. But when the initial motivation fades, those big promises feel daunting and we give up. Instead of trying to do everything at once, focus on one small, manageable habit at a time. If you want to get healthier, start with drinking an extra glass of water each day. If you want to be more disciplined, set your alarm just 10 minutes earlier. These small wins build confidence, and confidence fuels momentum. Momentum is the secret weapon of habit formation. Once you start seeing progress, no matter how small, it motivates you to keep going. It creates a positive feedback loop that reinforces the behavior. But to build momentum, you need patience. You need to give yourself permission to start small and to celebrate those small victories. The journey to rebuilding yourself is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And every step forward, no matter how tiny, is a step closer to the person you want to be. One of the most important aspects of habit building is tying your habits to your identity. Habits are not just about what you do, they're about who you are. When you focus on becoming the type of person who naturally embodies the habits you want to adopt, those habits become easier to maintain. For example, instead of saying, I want to run 3 times a week, say, I am the type of person who values fitness and takes care of their body. When your habits align with your sense of self, they feel more natural, more sustainable. They stop being something you force yourself to do and become something you simply are. To build habits that build you, you must also eliminate friction. Make it as easy as possible to do the things that serve you and as hard as possible to do the things that don't. If you want to start exercising, lay out your workout clothes the night before. If you want to read more, keep a book on your bedside table and put your phone in another room. If you want to eat healthier, stock your kitchen with nourishing foods and remove the junk. The easier it is to take the right action, the more likely you are to do it. Accountability is another powerful tool in building habits. When you share your goals with someone you trust, or when you join a group of people who are striving for similar things, it creates a sense of responsibility. You're no longer just doing it for yourself, you're doing it because you've made a commitment to others. That external accountability can be the push you need on the days when your internal motivation falters. It's important to understand that setbacks are part of the process. No one builds perfect habits overnight. There will be days when you fall short, when you skip a workout, or when you give in to temptation. But one slip doesn't erase all your progress. What matters is how quickly you get back on track. Don't let one bad day turn into a bad week or a bad month. Forgive yourself, learn from the experience, and keep moving forward. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. Habits are also deeply tied to your environment. The spaces you inhabit, the people you surround yourself with, and the tools you use all influence your behavior. If you want to build habits that elevate you, create an environment that supports them. Spend time with people who inspire you, who challenge you to grow. Fill your home with reminders of your goals, whether it's a vision board, a daily planner, or sticky notes with affirmations. Your environment should act as a constant nudge toward the person you're becoming.